So, what does everyone want to talk about today?
I have been studying about JSON, and
Have you?
yeah, I think I studied almost the same thing that you guys have have done. Just simple things. It's a way to organize and pass message between machines and human beings. It's understandable for both, and it has. I was talking to brother Barney, and he said it has less characters, so you can represent information using less characters. So that would be an advantage of JSON in comparison to XML. And what else? Yeah, it was basically that. I have been thinking about a way to use that knowledge, because otherwise we are gonna get stuck about studying JSON. And I thought about kind of making a sandbox application just to use JSON to talk to a server and pass the information, and the server would process the information and do the rest of the work. But yeah, that was basically what I have been doing this week.
Cool.
I think I caught up as far as Hibernate, having it in Java, and so I got it in Eclipse. I'm like, So I asked Brother Barney, how does this fit into our database classes? That's all my database experience. And he said, with database and Oracle, what we learned, you create, you design, you implement, you do everything with the data. But in Hibernate, you just work with the data. There's no time for creating or deleting, because we don't want the user to have any part of that. So keeping that exclusive Hibernate and what the application does exclusively working with the data is what he was like adamant about.
Yeah, because I was saying how I saw the video about how to do Hibernate and Eclipse and the database and all that work together. The guy was actually creating tables, showing how to create tables and put data in through Eclipse. And from what Brother Barney said, don't ever allow anyone to create or delete tables, because data, you want to always exist. You know, never delete data, never, you can update it, but you can't delete it. So you should never allow a user. That's what Brother Barney was saying. So.
And then I've been reading about how extensively we should test code before ever producing it. It's actually quite the process. I remember it being taking a while when you really do it right. And then JSON is a data protocol. That's why I learned about that. Just brief. I had no idea what it was, so that's what. And that was what I learned this week.
No, I just looked a little bit at JSON too. Again, I know I did before, but then I looked a little bit more into it. And I was kind of curious if it was just JavaScript, because it says it's JavaScript. I think JSON literally means JavaScript Object Notion or something like that. And I'm pretty sure you don't have to actually use it with just JavaScript. I mean, you can if you're making a web application, but in our case, we're making a Java application. We're going to have to create it through Java. And I looked up in that there was some page I found that has the libraries. I don't know if they're already a part of Java and Eclipse, a part of the new software development kit for Java, or if you have to put them in just like we did with Hibernate. Or what, I don't know. I'd have to look that up still. But yeah, as you were saying, it's a lot less code, from what Barney said. It's a lot less code. I was looking actually at some examples of the difference between JSON and XML. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this one side just has some of the examples. And so this one's just JSON. And it seems kind of easy because there's a glossary. Inside that there's the title and other things about it. Sort as, glossary term, acronym. Just has the type, whatever the data type is, and then the value. It's super easy. It's easy to read. And then you look at the XML version, the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. It looks a lot harder to read. It's pretty clear. I mean, you can read it if you're used to it. But also a big thing, it's a lot less typing and writing because how XML requires a header and a trailer for each of them.
Okay, open, close tab.
Open and close tags, yeah, exactly. Just like HTML requires those.
Yeah, I saw that website and I thought about kind of trying to develop, kind of to measure the time. I don't know if it is possible because VM is pretty fast, but the process of, the time of processing a JSON like file and a HTML file, develop like two different applications, just like Hello World for that. But I don't know if we can measure it, if the difference would be significant in a small portion of data. But that sounded like that came up in my mind. So okay, maybe we could measure that just to see how fast JSON is.
Compared to XML.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a lot
But
faster.
there's studies. It reminds me of just simple Hibernate tutorial I was watching. It reduces code by 80% if you don't use the Hibernate to do the same things. So
Wow.
that's why you should implement Hibernate if
Cool.
you're working with the databases.
That's cool.
It's nice.
Yeah. The hardcore guy, he had all the code written out and it was tons compared to the Hibernate. It was a few lines.
All right. Yeah, I have been thinking. I think we should define our project. At least something to start thinking. I like the idea of the score app that we had last week.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I don't know if you guys want to go forward with that.
I think it'd be pretty cool to do. And then you can, as far as server wise, we could just save the data for the
Yeah.
last game, so you don't have to save it on your phone. It just, you create an account or something that accesses the database and allows you to just see and then update also. Just like, Barney said, not to delete, but,
Update.
add and update.
Playing with my two friends again, so that same scoreboard comes up. Like the one
Yeah.
that says Lucas marking Kris on it.
Uh-huh.
Actually saved in there.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, when we can find maybe the score by game's name. Maybe.
Okay, different
Mhm.
types.
Yeah. Because we could set like general features that would work in any game, board game, or any game that would need to keep up with scores. But at least I think we should at least focus and just okay, let's work on that or start thinking about this specific project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So officially this week, really think about scoreboard and then also really think about other ideas. And then next Wednesday for sure have something.
Yeah. Well, at least for
Okay.
me, I think I won't think anything like good to work. I have a couple of ideas, just dumb, like we
Yeah.
can move forward. We can't move forward with that. But in my case, I would think more about the score app and the things that we could have in that application.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one.
Okay, yeah.
But, yeah.
Totally pumped. Let's do it.
All right.
That's 80% chance to do that one.
All right. So that would that be our next assignment for next meeting?
So, yeah, we need to start creating like
that's the one-
diagrams and stuff for it. And I need to brush up on my UML because
Yeah.
Well, that seems like where we'll need a project is when we get into diagrams.
yeah.
And so this is a good time to implement because I
'Cause-
think diagrams are coming up.
What think design, test, create. Is that what the process is?
Design, basically.
Think, design, test, create.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So yeah, we gotta do everything before we actually start programming.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how we can do that, but I think we can do that like in parallel, like because I think we can't just forget the technical study that we have been doing. Like each week get a topic, but I think we would need to have both just to balance. I don't know how we are gonna balance that.
Well, I
But-
think as we go through developing this app, the thinking about the things that are going to be with it, we'll come across things we don't know. And that's kind of, I think, what I've read in his think section of his book is if you come across something that you're not familiar with, go back and learn about it before you continue. Otherwise, you're just going to mess up and You're just gonna make it worse than what it is. So,
Okay.
so, you know, as we go along, you know, we think about what we're gonna need for this app. We can, you know, think about how we can do it, how we can, I don't know. If we don't know how to do it, let's learn how to do it. You know, let's make some sandbox side stuff that maybe relate to it, but maybe not exactly it for on our own time. You know,
All right, okay.
I think that'll help.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, let's focus on the project now. Cool.
Definitely need to start making use case and all
Oh,
the
yeah,
UML
use
stuff.
case, really. That reminded me some nightmares from Brother McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Have we reviewed that class?
Yeah.
From what I was hearing from Brother Barney, though, it sounds like it's not going to be as detailed as
No, you made it sound like there's
good.
like 3 things.
McLaughlin had us do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I feel huge relief from that.
Awesome. We adjourned.